Welcome to the Collecting Keys Real Estate Investing Podcast with your host, Mike DeHaan and Dan Austin. From wins, losses, horror stories, and tactics for optimizing your business, Mike and Dan take a real, uncensored deep dive into the ins and outs of running a full-time real estate investment and wholesaling business.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 21 of the Collecting Keys Real Estate Investing Podcast. And I got to say, we are in the presence of royalty right now, as Dan is probably like the top realtor in Spokane.
Definitely the top. I'm definitely at the top right now. I'm going to make the Realtor magazine this year.
Yeah, right. You could have one of those ridiculous matrices they have. It's like, oh, $2.5 million worth of transactions. It's like, so that's like 4 properties.
Right. Yeah. Hey, I did sell 2 today, which was cool. 2 of the listings. What do we have? What do we have right now? 6 listings, and then, which is not like our MO, but 6 listings. And then technically we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5, like in the, like going to be listed area, like soon.
Yeah. Like, you know, half of them are our own deals and half of them are, ones that we basically decided to list for sellers because our cash offer just didn't make sense for them.
Yep.
And I don't know if we talked about that whole sort of deal yet, but basically we were competing with another company here in town. They were offering a price that we couldn't pay because we don't have the financial resources that they do. So we decided basically just to burn the boat and offer to list it for them and go down that whole route. So we'll make a little bit, but at the end of the day, they didn't make any money. So that's all I really care about, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. And it reinforces that I don't want to be a full-time list agent or a full-time real estate agent at all, because it's just so much work in this market, right? Like I think we listed one, and for 3 days straight, we had showings from 8 a.m. till 8:15 p.m. For 3 days straight, and then getting wild ass offers coming in. The one went 65 over asking,
which is just insane.
What is
because
that?
Like you look
That's
at
25%.
I mean, like maybe we underpriced the house. We went through it, but at the same time,
bit.
it's a 700 square foot house.
Yeah.
You know,
that's not nice. That's not, I mean, it's nice, but it's like not upgraded at all.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, maybe that's the strategy. We just severely underprice everything. So a bunch of idiots come in
well, I mean, that's kind of what they're doing a lot last summer, right? Hey, underprice it just next to your competitors' prices, and then you're going to get a frenzy because then people get emotionally attached to it, and they're like, what's another 10, 20? What's another 30,000? Yeah. Well, when you're talking about buying a $250,000 house, is actually a huge jump.
Yeah, right. I know. Yeah, but that's the thing that's always interesting with buyers, though, is they don't look at the actual price. All they look is at the monthly payment.
Yeah.
You know,
fair.
Which makes sense, right? But then, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people too that are probably have more ability to put money down. So they're like, what's $280? I have to put an extra $8,000 down to keep the monthly payment that I want.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe. But then at the same time, I'm sure that most of those offers are probably also like 3.5 or 5% down.
They all were.
Yeah, they all were.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah. So interesting. But yeah, I know it's just so funny that these, because you're gonna have potentially between this past week and next week like 10 or 11 listings that you did not sign up to be a realtor at all. And like, think about how many realtors would kill for that, but you're just a giant burden.
Hey Dad, are you ready yet?
All right.
Sorry, we just had the daughter jump in here.
Man.
But yeah, so you got cut off his head. What she's still there. She's still going. No, she's good.
No, she's good. It's 9 p.m. on a Sunday night, and we're dedicated to recording the show. My daughter's dedicated to staying awake as long as she can on a school night.
your 4-year-old daughter.
Yeah, exactly. Anyhow, they text me, and then I'm like, oh, sorry you didn't get this one. I got these other 5 right now. If you want to, put pre-listing offers on it, and they're probably just like, oh God, what's going on there?
Yeah. I know.
But the funny thing is about that though, with a lot of these agents, is like, I don't feel like they have the guts to do that. Like, it needs to be on the market, because a couple of them have bitten like, oh heck yeah, when can I get in? Like, really savvy agents understanding that value. But with some of them, they're like, I don't know. My buyer didn't send it to me from a Zillow link.
And honestly, that's the whole thing. Why, realtors are kind of a joke in general, and why it's so insane that they get as much credibility as they do, because they have a license that you can go and get in like 3 weeks.
The savvy ones, when you're working with a savvy one, like, they're good and they know how to do it really well, and it's an enjoyable process. But some that aren't as savvy, or just are like, I don't know, they're just out of their element in some situations. It's just a painful process.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing is too, is it isn't even necessarily tied to their experience level. Like there can be realtors that have been a successful, quote unquote, successful realtor for like 20 years. And still, as soon as something is outside of their little MLS box, they're completely screwed. Like they just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense. But then the savvy ones, so we had our condo that was our hoarder house that we fixed up and listed, sold that in 2 days. And the people that are the buyer's agents for that are very well respected agent team here in town, who've only been an agent team for like 3 years. Yeah. But they're like the most probably knowledgeable group in town for the most part.
They're also investors too, right?
Exactly.
And they were investors prior to being agents, and so they're pretty savvy on that. Yeah, they came in with one of those offers that they knew what they're doing.
Oh yeah,
it's like a defensive but an offensive offer. They're like, "Come at me, bro." It's like, okay, we'll go with you. Plus, knowing that you have confidence when you work with an agent like that they're going to close. They're not going to let little things deter it. Like I had one where the agent screwed up the inspection, and he was a newer agent. He screwed up the inspection contingency. This was last year, and he tried everything he could to back out of the offer because his buyers didn't want it after they did the inspection, and so he pulled out like some crazy request, like rewire the whole house. Right. Yeah. And then when we're like, we're not doing that. And then he's like, okay, well, he just got some real estate or some insurance agent, which you can do, go write an offer that says they won't insure. You can call any insurance agent and be like, hey, I need an offer for you to not insure this. Like, okay.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's why the whole process joke anyway. It's like when we sold this 7-unit apartment complex last year, and we got an offer that basically the guy came in super high and then asked for an insane price reduction after
for nothing. He just asked for it. It was $100,000 price reduction. He's just like, with nothing on it. He's just like 100,000, and it's like, you can't negotiate the price on that form, bro.
Yeah, so exactly right. But then what happened is we rejected it, and his agent didn't get the whatever form in time to like recollect the earnest money. Yeah. So we were technically supposed to get it. Yeah. And then I forget what they found, like some random clause buried in like nothing that allowed them to get the money back anyway, even though they just wasted a bunch of time for no reason. I don't even remember what the actual reason was them getting it back.
I don't remember. Who cares? It didn't matter. We still sold it to somebody else that was actually more qualified. I think the good point though in this whole conversation is why investors are good to work with, because an investor, just as much of like what you're doing is important as is your reputation. So if you go and like screw somebody because like you using some clause to basically screw them, even though it's contractual, whatever, like you're going to lose, people are going to lose faith in you and not want to do business with you. When you're just hiding behind the veil of, some broker realtor, and just like that guy is doing his job protecting you and trying to get all your money back or whatever you're doing, like that it just, you don't build relationships that way. But in the investor community, your relationships are super important. And if you're going around screwing people up and submitting crappy offers you can't follow through on, like, you're never going to make it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why as an investor, it's important to work with an investor friendly realtor that kind of understands it. Even if they're not necessarily an investor themselves, they understand the process. Right. When you're using them to look for deals, but also too, if you're listing your flips and you have a bunch of good realtors that are in your network that also, understand the investor process. That's kind of how we sold this one. Our condo, I posted it on my Instagram.
Right.
And, we happen to follow that realtor group. They follow us back. The wife hit me up and was like, hey, what's the address? Sent it to them. They went and checked it out, gave us an offer like 3 hours later.
Yep. It was a good offer, a clean offer, and we know they'll close, right?
Exactly.
So,
And we're stoked to take it from them because they're going to be easy to work with, and they're happy to bring their client to us because they know that we do good work.
right.
So
Exactly.
easy all around, and everyone's looking forward to an easy transaction. So,
Yep.
Yeah, it's always just so interesting. Well, the thing that's always crazy to me though, too, I know you've been running around and like an insane person for the last few days and with all that, but like the income potential on that versus like a wholesale deal or a flip,
I know.
which I mean has its own amount of work, right? It's a little bit different, but it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, there's a lot of non-dollar productive tasks as like a broker or real estate agent.
So
And there's
many.
a lot of minutia. I mean, and there's ways to optimize it, right? We're not running a full broker team. So we could optimize it. You could have transaction coordinators. You could have some other services you pay for to help, but it's still, you're running and gunning in the evenings and weekends on top of all the stuff you're doing during the business week to build your business as a broker. And so the value, I mean, wholesale, yeah, you're still working hard on what we're doing, but the fees are just so much better. There's so much more
Yeah.
opportunity for your efforts, your dollar productive efforts that go into that. Actually, it's like a 10x or 100x or whatever you want to put on it.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that's nice about the investor world too is your income isn't necessarily tied to the value of the property. Because like when you're a realtor, you're going to be getting 3%. Well, I guess split with your broker. Let's say 1.5% for the average realtor that has a brokerage on a property sale. That means if you're selling $1 million house, you're going to get, was that 15 grand?
Yeah.
But like for unless you're in a large market, how many $1 million houses are there? And if you're a new realtor, how many $1 million listings are you getting? Probably nothing.
Yep.
Where we can go, and I mean, we've made a $23,000 fee on a $40,000 house.
Yeah, totally.
Or like this flip that we're closing, if it all closes, we'll make 70 or something thousand now on a $150,000 purchase. But it's like, if you were the realtor and you went and you found that $150,000 purchase and you listed it, you would make, would that be like $2,200?
Yeah.
It's totally. Like, that sucks, man. That sucks.
Yeah, that sucks. And it's the same amount. It's the same amount of work on the, the realtor side for, the $1 million commission too, versus that commission. So it's just, and the tough thing about like the high end commissions is those sellers are savvy and they want to negotiate right on what they're even paying you on their commission. So it might be only like, a best case, like on $1 million listing, like 5% or all around,
Exactly. So yeah, point being, when you're finding a realtor, take it more seriously than you think. Do find someone that actually knows what they're doing, and don't just find like your neighbor's sister's kid or whatever that people always seem to do. It's one of those positions that can bring you a lot of value, or it can just be a giant waste of your time if you don't pick the right person.
Yep.
So
yeah, if you need a realtor, call me and I'll refer you to one.
You get a kickback technically, don't you?
Yeah, I just don't want to. Yeah, I just want to do it.
Yeah. There you go. But so besides that, we had another killer week this week. We've just been freaking jamming, and it's like I don't know what happened in February, but I feel like it just turned on for a lot of people. Like I know a lot of our competitors had huge Februaries as well. I don't know if it's like signs of the market, like, people are starting to get sort of wary about it and trying to move all they can. But at the same time, I mean, you're still having, people are saying the real estate market might be stabilizing, but you still have this house that you listed that had 3 days worth of showings. It's not obviously slowing down that much.
I didn't feel like it this week, or, and maybe people are just trying to compress it all. There's not a lot on the market yet here in our local in Spokane, but maybe they are, nervous about rates, where that conversation's back on it. You know what I mean? Oh, if rates go up this, because it goes back to that monthly payment, right? You can only afford so much. And people are seeing the prices and they're doing the math in their head and they're like, well, I have to get that price then. So I got to buy now.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, or they're sort of calculating their payments, right? And they're trying to like jump in ahead before their payments get too affected.
And that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly what I mean.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over this next little bit. But yeah, because we got those listings, we got a couple fresh contracts this week. We got a pretty sweet one out in Corralane that comes with a lot of personal baggage with the seller. So we'll see how that one goes.
What's what's baggage? Is it just because it's going into foreclosure or what?
Well, there's so many things with it. So like this is why this business is so challenging, because this lead, he called us and he's like, I just found out that my house is getting foreclosed on. I need to be out before, March 22nd or whatever it is. And we're like, oh, no problem. We can do that.
Hey, we specialize in that.
Yeah, we specialize in that. Like honestly, right? That's why we exist, is there's
Yeah.
no way this person can go through a traditional sales process. But then, our guy shows up out there and well, I guess we start doing home for him. Go out there. We're like, this guy's name isn't on title for the house.
Oh God.
So it's like, so what is this situation? Is it like a crazy tenant trying to like scam a letter because they got the
We've had that
scam us
before.
because they got the letter? Oh yeah, we've had tenants call us trying to like sell their landlord's house. So we go out and meet him. Turns out he used to belong to his wife. Okay, wife passed away. That's totally fine. Well, it's not fine. It's tragic, but it's a situation we see a lot. But no probate's been filed. Okay, there's no will. Their wife has kept her maiden name. Is this dude actually the husband, or is it like some estranged person who's claiming to be her wife? Apparently there's like a lawyer involved and a tax person involved, and it's getting put together. But also, how many times have we heard that? And then some insane thing comes down the line. Like, these are like the kind of deals that you think it's going to go, and then like 2 days before, like, someone disappears, or like,
I know, and it's such a big deal too. Like, it's hard to not count the chickens before they hatched on something like this, right? Because it is a great deal. It's like, oh man, that is a perfect everything, and then you hear all this stuff, and you're like, oh crap, we know better to get too excited.
Yeah, but that's why it's a great deal. Like all of the big deals always come from those situations and overcoming them. Because if they were easy deals, they would have been snapped up by somebody already.
Very true.
Honestly, like a lot of the bigger deals we've got, they really seem to be tied with probate situations a lot. I think it's because they're complicated for the seller to navigate, so they kind of procrastinate on them, and then they end up in some kind of crunch, either financially or they have like some sort of timeline that pushes them to need to make a very quick decision they're not able to do. Right. But yeah, I know it'll be interesting. Because like the last one that we had like this, I don't even know if you even heard about this deal, but it was a similar thing. It was a probate sort of situation. The guy allegedly had gotten all the legal stuff figured out, and then James scheduled a time to come and like sign a contract with this guy like the next morning. And there was like some same sort of crazy situation. There's like a daughter that lives in the house, and there's like an aunt that's like owns it for the daughter. We're talking to the son, and blah, 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 all this BS. And then James goes there to sign it, and the house is gone. It's just been burned to the ground, like literally overnight. Like, James had gone.
Oh, that's the burn house.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, the person's not answering. It was obviously like a burner phone, but like the deal was great. Like, we were like, yeah, this is awesome. The numbers all make sense. The guy's like, yeah, that sounds great. Come meet us tomorrow. We'll sign it. The thing's burned to the ground. No idea where anybody went.
I wonder, like, what happened, like how it got burned.
I have arson.
It's very coincidental.
100%.
It's definitely arson. It's arson. Yeah.
It has to be. That doesn't just happen. And then those people disappear. That not only they disappear, but they're not answering their phone no longer works. It was like a burner, like drug dealer phone that they were using.
Oh, man.
And now they're gone. So, yeah, fascinating. Anyway, the people that you deal with in this, you can't make it up.
Nope.
I still, now that we're getting into the content space, I want to, we're doing a lot more content. We're doing some more YouTube videos. We'll have a lot of stuff coming out here in the next little bit. They're going to be super cheesy to start. Bear with us. We're figuring it out. We're a couple older millennials trying to ride into the content bandwagon. Yeah. So I feel like the podcast is coming along with the video stuff. We both are.
Yeah, we got to work on our camera faces and all that.
I feel like we're constantly like Ricky Bobby, where he like, it's like, what do I do with my hands?
Yeah, totally.
They're getting better though.
Yeah.
But I do want to bring back this concept that I've had for a while. And if anybody hears this and thinks sounds like a good idea, shoot me a message. But if basically we tell the crazy story, like the one I just told about the house burning to the ground, and then we find like an animator to make it into like a little cartoon
Yeah, I love that
of
idea.
us. Like that would be so dope. And it's,
man.
I'm okay throwing that out there because I'm quite confident that no real estate investor cares enough to do that as much as I do.
It'll
And
be unique.
B, as I've come to find, so few real estate investors actually do deals, investors out there, that no one else has these stories.
I know.
Like that's
when you
one
don't even
thing
have to write a script for this because we already have the script, and it's so crazy. You would have thought somebody created it.
Yeah, from stuff just like that to like, we've had tenants and landlords get in fights, but it's not like even what you'd think. Like it's like old ladies, and it's just like Jerry Springer stuff. We've had our seller get kidnapped.
Yeah.
I mean, we could even get some friends coming in. Like we have our friend Aaron that found a briefcase full of DIY sex toys.
Oh, I forgot about that.
From like made out of like Home Depot products,
it's like P-traps and like wooden dowels and stuff. Oh man.
Like what is this? I don't, oh my God, you just can't. You can't even.
Yeah, you get to go behind like the veil of people's lives, and most people aren't what they seem.
I know, and even in like nice neighborhoods too. Sometimes, like we walked into houses, like you remember the one down on freaking Farmdale.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I've never felt such bad juju in a house as like walking into there, and her story was actually quite tragic, but just like the weirdness of, because like so basically what had happened is her husband had like gone crazy and basically like tried to break into her house. I don't know if she like kicked him out or something. Well, I guess he had broken into the house and basically held like her and her daughter hostage and had like trashed the house and and she like just wanted to get out of here, but they had like left like the situation where they had been held hostage in there.
Oh
with like the weird like little timeout chair that was like down in the corner with all the
cigarettes like
ripped
burned into the the and shit.
Yeah.
The worst part about that is she took her fat check to move in the apartment building next door though.
Did she really?
Yeah, I remember that. She was like, "Oh yeah, I got an output." I mean, that's what was her plan, was to move in the apartment building, literally like what, 2 blocks away.
I mean, like she probably wanted to keep the same commute to work, but not be in the house. But that house was in like as A class as it gets, pretty much. For
that was fantastic. Yeah,
you
rattle off that neighborhood, and people are like, "Oh dang, really?"
Yeah, it's super odd, but it's such a weird business. One of my pitches I tell to like new employees though is, because it's always interesting to me where people think that being an investor is like a cushy job or like an easy job, and working for an investment company is not an easy job if they're actually doing deals. Owning an investment company is absolutely not an easy job if you're doing deals. It's funny. I think a lot of people look at the money and stuff we make and they're like, oh, this is, must be nice, pretty cushy. It's like, here we are. I mean, we're doing this for content reasons, but up until we started filming this, I was still working on stuff, and I have been doing all weekend as well as all week. So the definition of work. Effort. Yeah, the definition of working 80 hours to avoid working 40,
It's helped recently, that's for dang sure.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what I always tell people when I'm, they're like looking for jobs is I'm like, well, it is a lot of work, but like you can make really good money. And I guarantee that you will have stories that will instantly make you the most interesting person wherever you go.
Right.
I guarantee it.
Yeah. We could rattle them off for hours, it feels like.
Oh yeah, it's nonstop, but it's what makes it fun. It's what makes it extremely challenging and unpredictable. But without that, it would just be like I don't know, be kind of boring, honestly.
Yeah, you got to have something to laugh at. Otherwise, it'd be super transactional. It wouldn't be fun at all. It'd be like being a real estate agent, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and that's how you're starting to make it too, is when it no longer becomes like a frustration. It's just like hilarious.
Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, that reminds me of this one time. Whatever.
Yeah, I know. Like I remember back when we got started, we'd have some of these things come up and like a deal would go sideways, and it would be like heartbreaking.
Right. Yeah.
And
that's
now
our
you're just
marketing money.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Or like they would reject something because you didn't know what you were doing, you didn't know how to negotiate. But now it's just like, oh well, who would have known that they had actually been hiding the landlord in the basement and were posing with them with a fake ID. You know, who would have guessed that? Nobody. But that's exactly what happened.
Oh boy.
So,
Well, yeah. In better news, I think we're moving along nicely. We with our negotiated novation agreement.
oh yeah.
We it was kind of cool actually the way this worked out. I mean, you know, I feel like we're actually like in our groove on stuff. So Friday we finished some final touches that we ended up having to do on our flip. Like Friday at 9 p.m. In between that, for 2 hours, our contractor walked the property we're doing a novation agreement on, and he's mobbing out there Monday. I mean, I don't think it gets any
Nice.
better than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
So
perfect.
really, you know, we were able to start that one because there's no real closing process with the novation agreement. There's some documentation, but it's not like 30-day close type stuff. So, I mean, that's tight, you know, like it's so much better than having like this 2-week lag between projects,
Yeah.
or, you know, you're waiting to find a deal, or you're worried about having deals and you're stacking them up and just paying on them, you know,
Yeah. So
and not being
he's
able to
starting
get
out
to
there
them.
tomorrow.
Oh yeah, tomorrow's Monday. Yeah, he's going to mob out there and get all this stuff lined out. So what he likes to do on a lot of these, which I enjoy, I think it's a good process, is he likes to get out there, and he spends his first day just kind of cleaning up the site and making it safe to work, and kind of just like getting everything, because you know a lot of these places are pretty gross, right? You know,
Yeah.
Glenn was pretty freaking gross.
Glenn was
And so,
beyond gross.
so this one won't be bad, but he'll probably be kind of pulling things, little things apart, getting his tools all laid out, getting everything he needs, kind of finalizing his punch list of stuff, and then he'll go gangbusters on it.
Yeah. Does the seller know this?
Yeah. I actually got to text him.
Okay, yeah, so, should probably do that.
Well, I got to
because we technically haven't closed yet because our novation agreement isn't recorded.
Oh, that's okay.
Which I mean, the guy's a straight shooter. Like, I'm
yeah,
not worried about him.
It's in everybody's best interest. We're not actually like doing anything crazy tomorrow, but I do need to text him to meet him with the keys there. So like, I would imagine probably the second half of the week is when we're really going to start doing things. So you better get that thing recorded quick. So we're not spending money.
I mean, we've been freaking waiting for Kootenai County to get their like all the documents in for escrow. Like apparent, like this is, you know, Idaho, man. It's like the dark ages of the United States. Sometimes, you know, not only in terms of like their hill people with their, you know, white hoods that live out in the forest.
Yeah, hopefully those guys are gone, right?
I mean, they're still there. But you know, just in terms of like all their
the
processes and everything are just slow. A joke. Yeah.
Well, then I will retract my statement. We're going to take a calculated risk.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Yeah. Like we said, the guy's fine, so I'll be good. And I mean, we got to get him through that because we got the 2 lake cabins coming up, which will probably be closing the end of this next week. We want to burn through those and get those things freaking up for sale in like April or May. That'd be prime.
Get everybody that wants a little lake house.
Exactly. Yeah. But
cool.
Yeah. We got our timings pretty dialed in right now, though, with all that sort of stuff, which is generally one of the biggest challenges. I mean, and then after that, it actually could work perfect because I'm thinking about right now, we do have under contract. We have several that are going to be closing sort of like later April. And then we got a 6 unit that we're going to be buying at the beginning of June. So it could actually work out. Like,
is that closing date on that 6 that far out?
Yeah, it's June 1st because the guy. So, I mean, it's going to be another tenant situation. We're going to have some stories. I guarantee it.
Because I thought these are all long-standing tenants, like old people.
So was the last one, though.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
You know, just because they're long-standing doesn't mean anything. But basically, the guy, there's some tenants that are on rent relief. And the guy's like, oh, well, I'm not selling it until I collect all my rent relief. So they're getting the rent paid for by the city or the state or whoever the hell's paying it until May. And then as soon as that's done, the guy's ready to sell it. Which the fascinating thing is, too, with this, the guy knows that we are buying the property from him at a huge discount. Yeah. He knows it. He's 100% said, I know this property's worth more than that, but he doesn't want to deal with the tenants. He is so afraid of having a difficult conversation with these freeloading tenants that he's willing to sell the property to us for like $250,000 discount.
Nice. Well, that's on him then. That's on him if he doesn't want to have the conversation.
People are ridiculous. But I mean, that's just how it always is though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we should at least talk him into like issuing like 60-day non-renewal or something before that. So that at least we have some
Yeah.
teeth, right? To
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Well, so I think as soon as we get through the inspection, which we're doing in beginning of April, and because we offered to basically 10x our earnest money on it after
Mhm.
that. As soon as he does that, I mean, I'm sure we can push that with him. He'll be
Yeah. That
pretty
would be
comfortable
huge
with
to
it.
have that because I
Yeah.
mean, we'll be able to find people to
Yeah.
backfill them. It's kind
Yeah.
of like we
Oh,
did with our 8 unit. We were like, well, okay, let's trickle it out. We did two like, not or two rent increases. Like, okay, let's just kind of trickle it out, and then we're like, let's pull the Band-Aid off, and then the next month we did all of them. And right now, so far, only one person is choosing to leave.
oh, really? That's
Yeah,
news to me. I had no
so
idea.
far. Yeah,
Have we gotten a check for that yet?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We got
Oh,
a rent
that's
check.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll be
it's a
sweet.
little old school. It's mail,
Yeah.
but I was able to deposit, I think, mobile deposit. So that's at least some technology to make it a little easier. But yeah, we got that. I mean, we could potentially set up rent collection through our own system if we want. But right now, I like having this guy kind of do it all because he's super good property manager. Actually, I'm very impressed with him and super cut into it and really good, honest guy too. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, let's just ride that out as long as we
Yeah.
can. And who
Yeah.
cares if we're getting a check if he's going to handle all that? Well, I know like the turn process was so simple too.
Yeah.
Because he just
Yep.
went in and like gave you the straight shoot and report on everything
Mhm.
and just handled it all. I mean,
Yep.
that's going to be a sick deal for us. And it's officially, I think, the easiest deal we've ever done so far.
Yeah. Yeah. That is almost as true no money down investment for us, like no other people's money type situation where they always sell
Mhm.
these like gurus to you. We didn't start by doing that, that's for damn sure. But
Yeah.
we were able to leverage our network of private investors, leverage our network with banks, and get that thing under contract. And we
Mhm.
had no money out of pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And well, so we have a private investor that basically gave us a down payment. And I think we had some money that we had to pay in fees at the end of the day because we had to like close the hard money loan because
Oh
the
yeah, that's
long-term
true.
lender, we couldn't get an appraiser in time to meet the deadline the seller needed. But even then, now with the rental increase, with the cap rates on, with the value increase, we should be able to do a cash out refinance in the next 6 months, pay off our private investor, and actually take out a good chunk of change if we want to.
Yep.
Or, I mean, honestly, the better decision probably be just to pay him off and then, just sort of maximize our cash flow on it and have a little bit of an equity position and just
Yeah.
let it roll for a while.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So,
Or cash out the private investor with an equity position and keep his money.
oh, like give him like an upside.
Yeah.
It's
And
not a
just
bad
a little
idea,
tweak,
actually.
We could if we needed the cash or something else. But I mean, there's no reason to give up equity in it now. But it could be
Yeah.
an option.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, could get like 180 grand
Yeah.
cash,
Yeah.
gold
To just go and
money.
go and like flip some properties without having to pay fees.
Oh, I was thinking we were gonna go to like Vegas or something. But
we could, man. Just go. Let's
Yeah.
go put it all in black.
right. I mean, your idea is better, but I mean, I thought we were on the same page here.
Yeah, right. Well, technically, blackjack, you keep doubling your bet. Eventually, you'll win. And
I
you'll
tried
be
that this year, man. And who was down the most?
You were.
Yeah.
But you say that. We kept doing the sucker bets though too.
Yeah, I did do the sucker bets, but I love to win big. If I'm gonna win, I gotta win big.
I mean, the one was it James that you got to put all his money on the sucker bet and then he hit it?
Yeah, he hit it, dude. I told him I was like, "I'll buy your bet back from you," and he hit it,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
put
was
all of
awesome.
his chips in, all of his chips. I think that he had.
Yeah,
That was great.
that's funny. That's another thing that I found is very common with real estate investors is a massive joy of gambling.
Yeah,
like all over the place. I mean, like at the hard money company I used to work at, they'd be walking down. They had like a little putting green in the hallway, and they'd be like, $20, I'm going to sink this putt. People would like say, "Oh, I'll take it," and they miss it and be like, "Yep, $20." They'd freaking pay up every time.
I love it. Yep.
So funny. Anyways, that was a quick 33 minutes right there.
It was. Yeah.
Oh,
I got to go
wow.
record some content for our instant investor stuff.
You do. Thank you for that transition. Yeah. So actually, when this episode comes out, the Instant Investor Program will have officially launched. We have just a small group joining in with the first little batch here. So we had the pre-launch up until March 1st. As of March 1st, 2022, the Instant Investor Program is officially launched. But don't fret, if you are interested in joining into our group coaching program and learning the exact process of how we market for off-market leads, we negotiate with sellers, we close deals, we go through the full sales process, everything you need to know to basically take a business exactly like ours and build it for yourself, whether you want to do it full time or you want to do it as a side hustle. Literally the only difference is scale and marketing, which you can completely control. So if you're interested in that, go to instantinvestorprogram.com and schedule a free call with me, and we can hop on a little phone call and see if you're a good fit. We're looking for, whether you're newer or you are established and looking to take your systems to the next level, it'd be a good fit. If you're someone that's like running a business, we're already doing 100 deals a year, we might be a little not quite advanced enough for you, but you should still reach out to me anyway, because I'd love to just talk business in general. Instantinvestorprogram.com, set up that call. And then anything else from you, Dan?
No, I just love it. Your line, I've never heard you say, don't fret. That was a great line in your pitch there. So
I'll start adding that in.
Yeah. Don't fret.
Now I'm going to think about it. I'm going to be saying that too much. Just like
I've only 3 monthly payments of $9.99.
Yeah, it is significantly more than that. So but it is more than that. So don't listen to what Dan just said.
No, but seriously, reach out to us on that. I'm jacked. We're starting this week, and like Mike said, don't fret. You can give us a call. We're getting it set up to where you can join anytime. Exactly. And it's going to be pretty good content, but I just think having the network of folks that we're bringing in is going to be also super beneficial to all these investors coming in. I'm excited for the group we got right now.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not just like a course, but it's actual Q&As with us, working through it. It's a community with other investors. You guys can work with each other, sort of see what's working and what's not. It should be a good time. So Cool. All right. Well, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Collecting Keys Podcast. You can follow me at Mike_invests. You can follow Dan at InvestorMan Dan. And besides that, sound it off, Dan. I know you've been working on your catchphrase.
See you next week.
That's terrible. Give one more.
I don't know. I tried to go collect some keys like episode 1, but that didn't catch.
Yeah. I mean, we only said it once and you weren't convinced. So.
I wasn't convinced. Dang it. Okay. I'll sign us off next time. Way better.
All right. You hear that?
See y'all
here first. Next one's be better. See you guys.
Thanks for listening. Please leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And check us out at collectingkeyspodcast.com for tips and guides on starting your own real estate investment and wholesaling business.